Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We are all George. Pay attention. Bitcoin is at $50,000. It's here. And yes, it's time to celebrate. Well, it's teeter-tottering right now. Like 49.9, 50,000. Close enough. We know Bitcoin is going to shatter through 50,000. And you know what? I wanted to have a special live stream and celebrate with you guys because it's a long time coming that Bitcoin is now halfway to 6 digits and the naysayers are panicking. They really don't know what to do, what to say, how to control Bitcoin because it's like wildfire. It's out of control. and it is definitely a good time. So that's why I want to have this live stream with you guys. As always, I have two streams, one 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, and one at usually 8 p.m., 8 or 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So let's just talk about how we got here and where Bitcoin could go in this stream. Oh, thanks for that super chat. Is it at 50,000 again? It's very close. It's very close. I think we're going to do it. We're going to do it and go beyond. So, my prediction about 100,000 by end of February. End of April. That may be coming. That may be true. All right. So, thanks for tuning in. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel if you are new so you don't miss out on any of my streams. All right, let me change my screen here. There we go. All right. 49,934, but we could see that just a few minutes ago when I started the stream, 50,216. So I think we're gonna go right back up. Right now, 50,000 is important, a very important mark. Right? It's halfway. 66K Australian. Thank you for that. It's halfway to the 100,000 mark, which at one point in time just seemed like it was impossible, right? So let's take a trip down memory lane here. Let's go back to this. We'll zoom out a little bit here. So let's take a trip down memory lane. Some of you guys, I know some of you guys got in early, but some of you guys got in 2017. Well, I got in in 2013, 2014. So I've lived through two crypto winters. One that I really panicked and got out, and one that I've held through with you guys, right? So let's recap. In 2013, end of 2013, Bitcoin hit 1,200 for the first time ever. And that's when I was introduced to Bitcoin. And I'm like, this is the great things on earth because you can create your own money tree and you're minting money out of thin air. And I converted my basement into a huge mining farm. I had like 130 GPUs running at one given point, and it was like 99 degrees in my basement all year. And even in the winter when I'm piping in cold air, it didn't matter. It was hot. Enormous amount of heat. But anyways, Bitcoin bubble pop started coming down. I sold out. I was scared. I'm like, I need to get out of this game because this bubble has burst. And I got out. But you know what? Bitcoin, it did its thing and found its bottom and started coming up. And then let's zoom in here. You know what happened? In 2017 rolls around, Bitcoin is back at $1,200. And that's when I knew I made a mistake. I could have bought Bitcoin for $160 when it went down here, right? When it came back to about $1,200, I'm like, you know what? I made a mistake. I'm not going to make that same mistake again. And I started getting myself involved in early of 2017. And guess what? 2017 was a terrific year, right? 1,200, and even midway through the year, it was only at 3,000. That's what people fail to realize. Even mid-year, June of 2017, it was only 3,000. And guess what? China banned Bitcoin and it dropped monstrously 50% overnight from 3,000 to 1,500. And that's in July. Guess what? Bitcoin didn't care. It kept going and going and going and going. And then when it was in November of 2017, that's when Bitcoin went from $6,000 to $20,000. Many of you guys remember that, right? And during that time is when altcoins went up to the freaking moon. That's when like Cardano, Tron, and many others, they just shot up Binance Chain. They just all went up to the moon. Neo, they, from pennies to multi-billion dollars, right? So fast forward, we had crypto winter, and that was hard. We went from 20,000 all the way down to 3,000. And then what made it harder is Bitcoin went up to 14,000, and everyone thought this was it. The recovery was here. And what made it even harder was we went from 14,000 and we crashed back down to 3,800. That was like, 2 stabs in the heart. One stab is okay. You can live with that, but you got a second stab in the heart. That's what drove a lot of people away. That second time we fell to 3,800, and that was in March of last year when everything was falling. But you know what? I told you guys, I'm not going to make the same mistake again. What I did before I sold out when I could have bought Bitcoin for $160. I did not, right? I'm like, stick with it. Bitcoin will go higher. It will recover. And you know what? It'll be here sooner than expected. And you know what? It's the same amount of time. In fact, same amount of time, we just came back up. Bitcoin is resilient, a V-shaped recovery all the way up. And now we are past. Way past. I drew this back in January last year. I'm like, okay, it should go around like this, right? Up and down, but around like this. Obviously, we went down a little bit, but now we're way above. And guess what? Now we are on our way to doing this, okay? And this is going to be marvelous. This is going to be marvelous. If we go up the same percent as last time, okay, about 1,500%, from this point on, which is around 18,000, 19,000, that would bring up Bitcoin to $471,000. But obviously, we're way past that. So where's Bitcoin go head, right? Anyone's guess, but some very influential people is guessing that Bitcoin is going to go much higher than anyone can even guess at this point. 100,000 will be the next step, the next barrier that Bitcoin breaks. And then afterwards, 150, 200, 250, and it's just going to keep going and going. It's an unstoppable force at this point. And there's really nothing any naysayers can say at this point, right? The one thing that people have always said, the naysayers always said, you can't break 20,000. There's no way Bitcoin will ever break 20,000. It can't be done. And now we are more than double than that previous high. And it continues to go higher. Another argument is there's no way any public trade companies will ever invest in Bitcoin. No way that hedge funds will ever invest in Bitcoin. Well, guess what? They're all doing it. Right? So you gotta pay attention to what's going on. And you know what? This is projected to be what's next for Bitcoin. What's after 50,000? What's coming later this year? This is projected just within 1 year's time frame. And you could see that we're well above this right now. If we continue this path and we do something like this, Bitcoin will be like at $1 million, after this, right? So we're ahead of the game. We're really, as far-fetched as this seems, like just basically a straight arrow up, right? That's exactly what happened in 2017. Pretty much just a linear exponential skyrocket up to the moon kind of event. And that is what we're seeing now, and we're going even faster than that. So that's where Bitcoin is heading next, okay? So what are some drivers? I think you guys know them all, right? Today, the big driver is, of course, Microstrategy is borrowing another $600 million to buy more Bitcoin. Michael Saylor, he has balls of steel. That's for sure. He can't get enough Bitcoin. He wants to become the richest man on earth. And in history, I mean, he's adding upon his 71,000 Bitcoins. So I don't know, I can't do the math, but he's raising another 600 up to 690 million. He's just going all out. He wants to be number one. He wants to have more Bitcoins than even Grayscale. And it just continues to go up and up and up and up because he knows he has a good thing going. He knows nothing comes close to shattering Bitcoin at this point or taking reins away from Bitcoin. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And of course, his counterpart is, of course, Elon and Tesla. And now corporate America can't help but blame Tesla for leading the way, such as GM. GM just came out and said, no, we're not going to be investing in Bitcoin. Well, that's why they're GM and they're not Tesla, because they're a dying company and they can't innovate and they can't think outside the box, right? AutoNation, another huge auto dealership is like, no, we're not going to buy Bitcoin. You know what? That's why Tesla is dominating the market. Tesla can think ahead, maybe not as far ahead as Michael Saylor, but Elon is not far behind. So now, corporate world, they don't know what to do. They're like, oh my God, Tesla invested in Bitcoin. What should we do? Should we follow? Should we not? You know what? Yeah, they're all going to follow. One after another, after another, after another, after another. It's coming, and you'll see. Some big companies will be following. Oracle probably next. Apple next. Amazon next. Microsoft next. And once these big tech companies all adopt Bitcoin as a reserve currency and allow trading and custody service and payment services, it's over. It's over. Every single company will have to adopt then. And it's coming. It's coming. What else is there? Kathy Wood's Ark Invest, big investment company, hedge fund. They have about, 50 billion of assets under management, which isn't the biggest, but 50 billion is no joke. And now they have how much? They have over 7 million shares in Grayscale's GBDC, and that is a position of $351 million. Still, it's tame compared to Microstrategy and Tesla's share, but you know what? Ark Invest keeps upping that. They just purchased an additional 2 million shares, so that is going to keep increasing. And of course, besides Ark Invest, just look at this entire list. This entire list of, man, all these companies that's just FOMOing into Bitcoin. This is a ton of Bitcoin that is being eaten up at this point, which is why Bitcoin continues to go higher and higher and higher. A second Canadian Bitcoin ETF is approved now as Ontario regulator allows it. Canada's going all out with ETFs. They're all coming. And you know there's going to be massive amount of interest. And guess what? NYDIG, along with Morgan Stanley, they have both applied for a Bitcoin ETF. And this is after Van Eyck already applied for one. So, you know, if Canada approves the ETF, most likely, the U.S. is going to follow suit and follow behind. And this will be also very massive as more institutional investors and average investors will be able to get into Bitcoin very easily with Bitcoin ETFs. And of course, now there's news that they say everywhere, every company, Mexican companies are willing to join the Bitcoin bandwagon in wake of Tesla's investment. So any company that doesn't want to die like a dinosaur, you know, they're all following the leader, and that's Tesla right now. And they're all thinking about diving in. And we got to thank Michael Saylor for that. He led the way. He's a new Bitcoin Jesus, right? So this is why Bitcoin's at 50,000, why it's going to continue to go higher, and why it's so damn exciting to be in Bitcoin right now, to be holding Bitcoin. And you know what? With Bitcoin leading the way, you know that altcoins will follow. This is not just a one direction. Of course, Bitcoin is the big dog. It's going to carry the market. We are now above $1.5 trillion again, right? And Bitcoin making up 930 billion of that. But still, as Bitcoin climbs higher, the entire market will follow, and overall, the crypto market is getting bigger and bigger, and it just you can't ignore it. You can't ignore it anymore. Let's just take a look where everything is. And you know what? Bitcoin is now above 10 cent. It is now considered, if you take silver and gold out, it is now considered the 6th largest company in the world, if it was a company, by market cap. It's closing in at 1 trillion itself. It is way above even Tesla these days, way above Facebook, Tencent, Alibaba, all these guys, Berkshire Hathaway, Visa, JP Morgan, Walmart, PayPal, MasterCard, Walt Disney. It's not even close. It's not even close. I said, you know what? We're getting close to silver. We'll pass that. And pretty soon, we'll pass Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple. And it'll be equal to gold. And once it's equal to gold, it's not going to stop there. It's going to keep going. It's going to keep going. There's no reason why Bitcoin will not surpass gold at this point. Literally no one buys gold anymore. There's just no point to buy gold. So, you know what? They're all going to buy Bitcoin. So, yeah, very exciting. Unfortunately, that's all I had to say. Unfortunately, man, I was really wishing Bitcoin come back up to 50,000, but it looks like after it hit 50,000, it's taking a little breather, but we're right there. I think after things cool off a little bit, we will just shoot right back up. But anyways, very, 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 very exciting times. All right, so I'll turn it back to you guys. Do some quick Q&A. I'll let you go. I do have some stuff to do, so let's do this. Zach, I wish I did. I do not. I do not. Man, the chat is hot. It's hot right now. Prediction for how long this bull market will last. You know what? I don't think it's going to end. That's the thing. I think this one is different. I've said that before about many things. I've been wrong many times, of course. But you know what? Once Bitcoin gets up here, there's no reason to think that it's going to drop like before. You know how like this happened, right? You know, this happened because of weak hands, retail investors. Once the whales started selling Bitcoin, everyone started panicking, and it just went lower and lower and lower and lower, right? Until it hit a bottom about 3,100. This was not institutional driven. That's all retail driven. Same thing like the times before. It's kind of screwed up here, but every time there's a top and bottom, right? Every time this happens, it's because in the past, Bitcoin was all driven by retail investors. There's nothing wrong with that. There's top and bottoms, but it continues to move forward. But this time around, why this is accelerating even beyond, the projected, path is because institutional investors. This is happening. This didn't happen before, and this is a lot of Bitcoins being eaten up. So I think we may have a super cycle that after you get up here, maybe you come down a little bit. Maybe you come down from $500,000 or $1 million down to like $200,000, $300,000. But that's it. There's no reason to think that we're going to have weak hands like this and drop down like 80-something%. I honestly think this cycle will just continue on. We may just hover at a point and just keep going, right? So this cycle may never end. May never end. Now, of course, Bitcoin still has a 4-year cycle because of the halving event. That's different. And that could drive Bitcoin even higher next time it comes around in 2024. But right now, you know what? This may be the last time we see a lot of these figures for a while. And just so you guys know, so you're not freaked out, or not that you would freak out, but BLX, this chart does not update in real time. So this is a little bit lower than where we are right now. Martinez asked about the NTF space. NFT, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said NTF. NFT space. I mentioned that this morning. NTFs are very, very, very interesting. It could be the future. A lot of people don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like to collect it myself. But you can't deny the fact that everything is being virtualized. There's a value. There's people that want to pay for virtual items, which you can create now. You could create virtual items of anything, and there's a market for it. So I think NFTs are very, very, very big. They will get big. They will get big for sure. Vip Wolf asks, sell ETH to BTC for short term. Depends on when your breakup is. I still think right now, good portfolio breakup, 50% in Bitcoin, 50% in altcoins, right? So it depends on if you have 50% Bitcoin or not. See, days like today where Bitcoin is pumping and everything else is kind of stagnant or weak, right? You're glad to have a good amount of Bitcoin. And then days where altcoins are just skyrocketing to the moon, right? Then you'll be happy that you have 50% in altcoins. So I think a 50-50 breakup is definitely a good makeup right now. Chris asks, do you think as BTC gains more value, yields are going to increase or decrease with WBTC? Do you think BTC DeFi aggregators like Badger will thrive? It shouldn't. Yields are going to increase or decrease. It's the same. You wrap Bitcoin, it's the same value. So I guess I don't really get that. Do you think BTC DeFi aggregators like Badger will thrive? Anything that deals with liquidity, bring, let's say, Bitcoin to DeFi, it'll do fine. It'll do fine. DeFi will thrive. Everything that's legit, has a use case, people love it, will thrive, right? DeFi is here to stay. So, yeah, a lot of people want to spend, say, Bitcoin or Dogecoin or BNB on DeFi projects on top of Ethereum, right? So I think they're all going to do well. Rich, no, I would not. Because you can't time that. You can't time that well. So it could, or it could just skyrocket, keep going, right? So if you go try to time top or bottom, if you go try to actually day trade, do it with a very small percentage of your portfolio. Don't do it with the entire thing. You go regret it. You go regret it, no matter what. VeChain is a really, really good project. Covered them for many, many years. And there will be a top 20. There will be a top 20 project. That's for sure. I changed my mind. No, I said that wrong. It's going to be a top 10 project, not a top 20 project. Top 20 is easy. Top 10 is where it belongs. How long could traders long or short of 50K dips? I guess when the big companies move in, it doesn't matter. The traders are trading what's available on the exchanges. So they could do that all day long. But guess what? The big boys, they buy through OTC and they're buying up everything else. It's a very, very small amount of BTC that exists on exchanges. Very, very small amount out of the total supply. And the big companies, they continue to buy up everything there is behind the scenes. So that's the thing. You know, people tend to think that the traders and stuff, they're really dominating the market. No, they're not. The holders are dominating the market. And it catches up. It catches up. As the liquidity dries out more and more on the exchanges, guess what? Bitcoin's price keeps going up. That's how it works. Supply and demand. Where do you think the Bitcoin's going to come from if liquidity all dries up, right? So don't worry about it. Don't worry about these up and downs. You zoom out and you'll realize what's happening is this. This is all you need to worry about, that it is going up and up and up. When do you think ETH will break 2 to 3K? It should be coming. I mean, it was at 1800. 2K should be right around the corner. You know, once Bitcoin, I believe, breaks above 50 and holds there and consolidates, that's when the altcoins will flip and start coming up. BTC's dominance will drop down a little bit, right? Ethereum will be at above 2000 in no time. I think that's like right around the corner. 3K, a little bit longer, but 2K, right around the corner. FOMO everything into ADA or Link. My financial future is in your hands, and I can't answer that because I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not going to give you financial advice. But I like both of those projects. Let's leave it at that. Unicrypt. Jay, I don't know. Idea. Deflationary governance token, the Unicrypt platform, a platform which provides services to other tokens. Okay. Yeah. I'm not going to have time to look at this one. I do have to go. I want to end my session really quick. You know, this was more of like a celebration, right? Celebration for 50,000. Not my usual, because normally at night I would cover altcoin, but man, seeing how we were just above 50,000, I wanted to celebrate. Let's see where it is now in real time. We've fallen down a little bit, but still holding strong. Let's see this. 5 minute is bottoming out. When the 5 minute bottoms out, this could push us right above 50,000 again. Let's look at a 15 minute. 15 minutes, about halfway. There's still time to come up. Yeah. 1 hour still going up. That's good. So there's still room. Yeah, I would say. Let's see what happens when the 5 minute bottoms out. It should push Bitcoin right above 50,000. See, this is what we want. We want to break above 50,000, utilize that as support, let Bitcoin cool off a little bit, right? And then a lot of that money will flow into altcoins, and you'll see the altcoins start flying up. Because today was actually, to be honest, a little weird, because altcoins really drained out and Bitcoin was still hovering about 48,000-ish, right? It wasn't really pumping until now. We're seeing a little bit of an upward push. Maybe Asia woke up and they just started to buy. That's why we started pushing up. But the altcoins got a little weak today. You know, a little strange. But we'll see. $33. Well, I'm glad you asked me how my day is going. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I just got back from the Lego store, had some dinner, and I picked up some new sets. So I keep buying Lego sets, but I don't have time. I don't have time to actually build it anymore. I have like 20 sets just sitting in my basement in my Lego room, and it's just, I don't have time to do anything with it. So. $50K, you need to stream 15 minutes. No, I don't. I do have to go. So that's it for tonight. Let's see what happens, right? I do think Bitcoin's going to push back. If it doesn't, well, we'll try again tomorrow. We have to hold above 50,000, right? Right now, just kind of going up and down, but overall, creeping up, right? We had one time, this time over here, that was very, very early this morning. Came back down. Now we're inching up again, and I do think we're going to break above. And let's see if it can hold. If it can hold, it keeps going or takes a breather. Tomorrow is going to be a very, 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 very good day. And let's see, okay? Christopher asks, how long are you holding BTC? Pretty much well past six figures. 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. It just depends. It depends on how things are. It depends on if every single cash holding company and institution starts buying Bitcoin like it's out of style, like by the boatload, right? Things can change really, really quickly after Bitcoin surpasses $100,000. It could really, really change really, really fast. Right? All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Smash with a like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you stay tuned for my stream tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Also, check out my Patreon if you want to chat with me and others and get some exclusive content. Also, if you want a crash course on Bitcoin, you simply don't know what the fuss is about, check out my Teachable page. All right? Take care, guys. Have a good one. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Oh, by the way, people asked me about XRP this morning, or at the beginning of the stream. People don't quite understand what XRP is, so here's a video that explains it pretty well.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.